Not an argument.
Not to be pedantic, but is there another way to start an argument? Every time. What is that? A text?
Uh-huh.
You can't show the common decency to finish our conversation before starting another one.
Sorry.
Is something amusing you?
It was a funny text.
From who?
It doesn't matter who it's from.
Well, at least let's hear the joke then.
It wasn't a joke, it was a misunderstanding. Jamie answered my phone this morning and told this friend of mine I was asleep, so they assumed...
So, would this be a girlfriend?
Would that be so surprising?
Well, you never talk about women, you never talk about anything personal, come to think of it.
You're right. I really should provide you with more ammunition to take the piss.
Why would I take the piss? Is she ugly?
No.
Fat?
No.
Is she missing a limb?
And you wonder why I don't talk about my private life?
Ever heard of metal love beads? You know why men go to prostitutes?
Let me guess. For sex?
Wrong. It's not just about blowing off a load. They want human contact. They want a woman to smile at them and to stroke their face and to stop them feeling like the angry, subnormal freaks that they are. That's what whores used to do for them. It was a skilled profession. It was therapy before people found out what therapy was. And the British were good at it too. But like everything else we've ever been good at, we farmed it off to a cheaper supplier. Enter the Eastern European immigrant. They don't offer a service, they're just a hole for hire.
I've got one for you. What's the difference between a prostitute and a lawyer?
The prostitute stops fucking you when you're dead. If you're going to tell me a joke, try and avoid the ones I started.
Have you got a minute?
Is it urgent?
I wanted to talk through some cases. Is that battleships?
What happened?
It's called irony.
As in, that's what you hit her with.
Yeah, as bad as it looks. The way I was thinking, she's up for assault, but she's the one taking all the beatings. So if them judges see my girl all beat up, they see the irony. Know what I mean?
I'm sorry, I wasn't aware you studied law so closely.
Ryan, get us a Fanta, would you?
You take care of my girl.
I see Huggy Bear finally sold the franchise.
Listen, Bruce, I was thinking, maybe I should just plead guilty on this one.
Fuck that. I'm taking this to trial.
I'll take a conditional discharge, pay off the costs, and I'll be out of here. You can work out a deal on that, can't you?
But you didn't do anything wrong.
So?
I really think we should take this to trial.
And how much will that make you?
Make me?
Well, the more hours you clock up, the more they pay you. Isn't that how it works?
In theory. I'm not just trying to make profit off you, Maggie.
So what you doing this shit for?
I don't think I've ever said this before. But if we go to trial, you'll win.
Win what? A new car?
No, that went last week. This week it's a speedboat.
I need to be out there, not in here.
Relax. I'll have you shooting up and sucking cock before you can say consenting sexual injuries.
F6.
Miss. Ricardo Pomarola attempted murder.
Yeah, burnt down his ex-employer's restaurant?
3 o'clock in the morning, it was empty.
If I can get him in and out in under an hour, I'll reduce it to arson.
Deal. H3.
Miss. Tom Passmore, perverting the course of justice. J3.
He's 74 years old.
J3.
Miss.
Well, I'll offer police obstruction for a guilty plea.
I thought the police wanted to make an example of him.
Since when do I care what the police want? Like you said, look, he's 74 years old. As long as we're seen to be doing something.
F9.
Oh, sunk a battleship.
I'll drop the charge of possessing an offensive weapon if she puts her hand up for the assault.
She's got her mind set on going to trial. I try to talk her out of it, but what can you do?
She's a whore, she'll lose.
What's the actual damage to this guy, anyway?
Do you want to see?
What, you got a medical report already?
Client's own photo library.
What am I meant to be looking at here?
Chronic hemorrhoids shredded to ribbons.
Jesus Christ! They printed this in Boots.
Interesting use of light and shade, don't you think?
My client had no prior knowledge of his medical condition.
She also went somewhere she didn't have permission to go. Would you like me to push for unlawful entry?
There's no way he's going to get up in front of the mags and talk about this. Not if he's got an ounce of dignity.
Freelance coach driver, he's been off work for a week.
So he's after the loss of earnings.
Criminal Injuries Compensation Board won't pay out without a guilty verdict.
Or, quicker still, a guilty plea.
Oh, he looks like shit.
That's what having a girlfriend does to you.
Isn't he gay?
What makes you think that?
Attractive, smart, polite. All the things you're not.
They don't come much straighter than this.
Or less appealing. You know how this one will go. Whores always lose. Take the assault and everyone's happy.
Yeah, except me.
You.
I mean my client, the whore.
Oh my God.
What?
You care.
Fuck off!
You actually care.
Hi, Tom. I've had a chat with the Crown Prosecution Service. You remember how I explained what they did? Well, they've agreed to reduce the charge from perverting the course of justice to police obstruction, which is a lesser charge and won't result in anything more than a small fine or a conditional discharge. But they'll only do that for a guilty plea.
Did they catch him?
Catch who?
The dark chap who robbed my phone. It was a present from my grandson.
Do you understand why you're here, Tom? The police think you made that story up. Now, what they're saying is, if you plead guilty to a charge of police obstruction, then they'll let you go.
Guilty?
That's right.
I was burgled. Black chappie came in through the door in the middle of the night.
That isn't why you're here today. Today you have to enter a plea. Now, they're going to ask you if you are guilty or not guilty.
I'm not guilty of anything.
If you say you're guilty, you can go home. If you don't, if you say you're not guilty, then you'll have to come back. And there is a chance, a ridiculous chance, you might get a custodial sentence. Is that clear to you? Can you repeat it back to me if it is?
If I say guilty, I can go home. If I say not guilty, they'll put me in prison.
Right. So you'll be saying?
The truth. A black chappie came in through my front door.
Will Mr. Gulliver please go to the usher's office immediately?
Yes, I'm coming. Listen, and listen good. When it's our turn to go in, you walk into that court and you tell them you are guilty, nothing else. You don't talk about the bus that got you here or the special offers down the supermarket. 5 minutes and it's all over. You're back at home with a kettle on. All you do is say you're guilty. And that is exactly what you're going to say.